Parashat Vayeira. Parashat Vayeira. Before we're going to go into the ins and outs of the parasha, I would like to make an introduction and tell you that this is like similar to what we were talking before. There's something that Avraham Avinu, about his character that he's doing and the way he does things, that resonates within all of us. And I'm going to tell you where, and I figure out where the neshama is. Want to know where your neshama is? Where? In your eyebrows?
The brain?
The brain, no. The neshama is between the spaces of your DNA. You know how the DNA spirals like this? In those spaces. In other words, it's in all over you. What Avraham Avinu did lays within everybody's, in the spaces of your DNA. In every cell of what you say, or that you have, and everything that you do. And there's something that you can't escape. There is a story, I don't know if it's true, but nevertheless it's a story. During the Holocaust, there were many stories like this about a German Jew who forgot he was a Jew. You know, conveniently. He married a non-Jewish woman, celebrated Christmas, you know, did the whole entire thing. He had kids, he raised them as German kids, and so on and so forth. And the war went on, and then, you know, this week was Kristallnacht. And what they did, the Germans did, they took Jews, they went at night, and to humiliate them, they actually beat the daylight out of them, took them in pajamas, and then filled them, and that was a part of the Nazi propaganda. So one of the neighbors, the co-workers of this guy, kind of snitched on him that he's a Jew, and came the German to his house. They dragged him to the shul. He said, I'm not. Look at me. I'm a German like anybody. This, that, you know, the whole entire thing. And he's arguing. They say no, and every time he says something, they give him a little bottle with a gun in his head, whatever it is. And they say, okay, you want to tell us that you're not a Jew? There's a test. You pass the test, we'll save you, we'll save your kids. You fail the test, we'll kill you. What was the test? Test was they took a Sefer Torah, They took the Sefer Torah, they rolled it on the floor, because that's what they did. They rolled it on the floor, and they said to him, spit and step on it. He was startled. He says, I would rather everybody dead, including me, than I'll do that. Where did he get this inspiration? As I told you, it's within the spaces of his DNA. Where did he get it? He got it from Avraham Avinu. All week long we were talking about halacha. We were talking about not just halacha, you missed it, not only about halacha, we're talking about the attitude behind halacha. And this is exactly what we're going to talk about today, about Avraham Avinu. Of course, this shiur is dedicated to all our friends and supporters, Mr. G, Karen, and Mike also. And, God bless them all for allowing us to do what we're doing here. So the parasha says, Vayeira elav Hashem be'elonei Mamre, and Shem revealed, Kadosh Baruch Hu revealed himself to Avraham Avinu in a place called Elonei Mamre. Last time I checked, is in the Judean mountains, what is so-called Judea and Samaria, not the West Bank. Avraham Avinu was there. And where Vehu Yoshev Petach Haoel Kechom Hayom, and he's sitting at the opening of the tent, and the day is hot. The day is hot. Vayisai enav, and he lifted his eyes. Vayirei hine shlosha anashim nitzavim alav. All of a sudden, there's 3 people on top of him waiting. Vayeira, and he saw. Vayaretz likratam mipetach haoel, and he ran towards them from the gate. They're coming, they're running on them. Vayishtachu arza, and he bowed down, and he says, "Sires, if you grant me this wish, please don't pass over. Take a little bit of water, wash your feet, lean under the tree that I planted here, and I will take some bread, then you should eat something. After that you should go." And why? Because that's the reason why you came here. וישענו תחת העץ, and that's what he said to him. ויאמרו כן תעשה אשר דיברת, okay, do whatever you want. וימהר אברהם ahola el Sarah. And Avraham rushed. It's a book of Rav Avraham Palachi, וימהר Avraham. But he ran to Sarah. ויאמר, and he said to her, מהרי 3 שאים קמח סולת לושי ועוגות. Take this measurement of, he's giving her a recipe. I mean, 1 second, hold on, before we're going to go, really. Avraham Avinu was giving Sarah a recipe. Is that Gordon Ramsay or something? What's in it to give a recipe? But we'll get to this. I mean, but he said to him, hurry up, take this and do it. ואל הבקר רץ אברהם, and he ran to the calf. ויקח בן בקר רך וטוב, ויתן אל הנער, and they slaughtered it, וימהר לעשות אותו, ויקח חמאה וחלב, and they made a whole delicacies out of that. ויתן לפניהם, והוא עומד עליהם תחת העץ ויאכלו. And he's basically serving them while they eat it. This is a really bizarre thing. So, if you look at the words, it says, Vayarotz, and he ran, Vayemaher, and he hurried, he tells Sarah, Mahari, hurry up, chop chop. Ve'el bakar ratz, and he ran toward to get the veal. So they say, Masechet Shabbat, in Daf Chaf, Kuf Chaf, Zayin. Amud? Aleph. Guys, you never fail, huh? It says that Gdola Achnasat Orchim Mikabalat Pnei Shechina. The letting guests into your house, but guys, when we're talking about guests into your house, we're not talking about your fat aunt that ate already too much and she's just too fat to cook, so she comes in. We're not talking about that Achnasat Orchim. I mean, it's nice. We're talking about letting people who don't have a place or anything to eat into your house. That's called Achnasat Orchim. Oreach is somebody that, you come to shul. In Israel, you see it a lot. I told you this many times in Yerushalayim. My son said to me when he learned to Yerushalayim, he learned it for 2.5 years. He said to me, Abba, this shul is amazing. There's a shul there, all the Yeshiva Bacharim go there, they stand in the back of the shul. Everybody that doesn't have a meal, some balabat come, and everybody goes always somewhere. That's what I call Achnasat Orchim. So, and maybe that's something we should do in our community. Again, that's another parameter that you should investigate if you're choosing to pick your own community. Do they have Achnasat Orchim there? How welcoming they are. So, Avraham Avinu, we see in him the real foundation of a Jew. He is first of all stubborn. Why are you saying stubborn? Where did you get it? I'll show you. And I mean, and for us, what do we say? Am kasher, of you, we're also stubborn people. And he's a real Jew. He's a real Jew. Why is he a real Jew? If you didn't want him to prevent the mitzvah of Achnasat Orchim, right? If you tell him go do Achnasat Orchim, he would not run to do it. You tell him don't do it, he runs to do it. That's a typical Jew. But when you that's like a very regular Jew. When you try to prevent them to doing the mitzvah, then he's mitchazek b'mitzvah. When the Jews in Russia, in the Soviet Union, I remember this as a kid, they used to chain themselves, say, Shalach et ami, what's his name, Natan Sharansky and all those chevra over there, whatever their name was, I forgot already. They rose up. They stood up. Always, when Jews, you tell them no, when you tell the Jews, do whatever you want, they stop doing everything. Example, America. Nobody tells you can't do it. Nobody does it. It's just, that's how we are. We got it from Avraham Avinu. So, a Yehudi, a Jew, is a person that knows that his essence, but I have news for you. Your essence of a Jew is Torah and mitzvot. What you are all about is Torah and mitzvot. And you should know that if somebody wants to take it away from you, that's where you become stronger. You want to chas v'shalom eliminate the Jews, let them do whatever they want. They'll do it themselves. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to give Avraham a little bit of freedom. Right? He wanted to give him a little bit of a break, a little bit R&R. And listen, after doing such a tremendous thing as a circumcision at the age of Avraham Avinu, listen, you're feeling a little weak. You feel a little weak. It's very hard, and it's hot, and they didn't have ointments, and they didn't have anesthesia, and they didn't have ACs. It's hot, and the guy lived in a tent. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give him a little bit mitzvah, right? And so he says, listen, don't move a lot, because every movement that you make hurts. And so what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said? HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, listen, my dear son is not feeling well. I'm going to go visit him. Adu Bikur Cholim. I'm going to be with him. He's going to be with me. And I'm going to give him a break. I give him a break from all the things that he's doing. I'll clear up all the way from him so he could really dedicate the time to recuperate and get better. How I'm going to do so? An expression that the Torah says, Otzi chama min artika. In other words, the sun, it's an expression, it's a beautiful metaphor. The sun is reflected to us through some kind of a shield or some kind of a atmosphere. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a little hole in the ozone layer, and it gets hot. And why did he do so? It will be so hot, so nobody will come. We had in the Gemara in Avodah Zarah a similar case when HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to give the Torah a mitzvah to the Goyim. He gave him one mitzvah, sukkah, and he also took the thing out. So what did he do to Avraham Avinu? He said, okay, the guests will not come. Avraham Avinu sits like this. He looks in his pillows, whatever that. Nobody's coming. I mean, he sat in a place that it's right on the mountain. People used to come from there. They come all the way down down from, let's say, Iraq, Syria, coming down to the Shomron, and Urim Mamre is right in the center. From there, they go down to the shoreline, and then straight to Egypt. And nobody's coming. What's going on here? So you know what? I'm gonna call these guys. Dembe, come here, pick me up, bring me outside. Let me sit, please, in the tent, at the opening of the tent. Maybe they didn't see me. I missed somebody. So I'm sitting inside here. I cannot sit inside. I'm going outside. Let me please outside. So his servant says, Abraham, hello, guys. I'm sitting outside. If somebody will come, I want to be the first one to see him. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees Avraham Avinu like this, right? So he says, listen, Avraham Avinu is sitting outside. So I did this, so I see he's restless. He's feeling very uncomfortable. He's in pain, but not because of the Brit Milah. He's in pain that he can't fulfill the mitzvah of Chatzat Orchim. So guess what? Hello, Michael, Gabriel, Idi Suda, Aviensi, Bechavot, Tirdu Lemata, go down to Avraham Avinu so he can do the mitzvah of Chatzat Orchim. Avraham Avinu, through the difficulty of the Brit Milah, through the difficulty of the excessive heat, still said, I'm going to do the mitzvah. I'm not stopping here. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu did him a favor. He goes more into it. So I'm going to sit in the front. So he saw Avraham Avinu is agonizing. He says, okay, I'll bring the Malachim. The Malachim came, according to this concept, the Malachim came to actually give menucha, some rest, some comfort to Avraham Avinu, so he can do the mitzvah. Because to be a day without a mitzvah for Avraham Avinu is unthinkable. Can you think about a day without breathing? I mean, we can barely do a day without eating or drinking. Should I remind you Yom Kippur or Tisha B'Av or, let's say, how about a day without your cell phone? Especially in Yeshiva. You. Right? A day without your phone. You can't think about it. Can you think about a day without a mitzvah? Yeah, I'm sure there are a few days that we didn't do a mitzvah whatsoever. How can you do it? For him to do a mitzvah was like air, like breathing. The nisayon, the test, according to the Gemara in Avodah Zarah, that the Goyim had, they didn't look forward to it. Hashem, it's hot in the sukkah. All right, let them make it hotter. I want to do more. No, they went out of the sukkah. Okay, and then the Gemara said, not only they went out, they kicked it. The attitude was not there. Look at the difference between the attitude of Avraham Avinu and the nations of the world that received the Torah mitzvot. That's why the thought that you want to be like everybody else is beyond me. I mean, I understand because you're weak, but that's not natural to you. I'm not saying be weird. I'm saying be Jewish. Be respectful, like Avraham Avinu. We'll talk about it soon, Bezot Hashem. But Am levadad ishkon uvagoyim lo yitchashav. You're going to be alone, and you can't do the lo yitchashav. In other words, don't do the machshavot. Don't think like the goyim think. I'm not saying they think bad. I'm not saying we think good. I'm saying it doesn't fit you. It doesn't fit what you're about. When was the last time that somebody said, honey, it's time for a vacation? And the wife says, yes, I haven't been in, I don't know, where did they go today? Dubai. Oh, the Dubai. I haven't been in Dubai for a long time. I want to go there, see the Burj Khalifa. The husband says, well, you could go, but that's not what I had in mind. And she says, what did you have in mind, honey? I said, I want to go to Kola for the whole entire week, from the morning until night. When you say, I want to go to Dubai because I had enough, I come to learn, I need a break, something is wrong with your essence as a Jew. Why are you going to do in Dubai? See sand? מה יש לראות שם? Nothing. But you're not thinking like a Jew. I'm sorry. Did you ever try to be in yeshiva 1 week a year? 1 week a year. Morning until night. If you don't go on a mental rush of like, wow, I know Kung Fu, I don't know, maybe you should go to a mechanic. But you go on vacation to all these places, then what have to do with Judaism? And with all due respect, I'm sorry to tell you that, I don't care what your wife says. Educate her. Tell her that the best thing for her is not a husband who brings the, stack of money like this to do laundry in the machine. The best thing for her is that the husband will be a Ben Torah. Because a Ben Torah will treat his wife the best possible way. And that's something very deep to think, and I know that most of you would not like what I have to say, but I say what I have to say. 1 week a year, 1 week a year. You're gonna go in the morning, get up in the morning, go to Minyan. For Minyan, you come to Yeshiva to learn. You learn Mia Boker Ad Ha'erev, come home for lunch, but then come back to learn. 1 week, you see, you'll be different. And that's something that is missing from us. Bagoyim lo yitchashav, in other words, don't think like a goy. That's good for them, not good for you, for who you are. Not only it's not good for you, it's absolutely not good for your kids. It's not good for your kids because what's going to be with your kids? What's going to be with your kids? the kids will learn from your behavior more than will learn from any Rebbe or Mora. So that's why Avraham Avinu. So we see here the yesod of how much the love of Torah and mitzvot is engraved in a Jew. It's so much the Chachamim says afilu, even the most loose of all Jews filled with mitzvot like rimon. They always want to do something good. It's engraved, not in the DNA. I told you, it's the essence in which the DNA swims in. Of this ahavat chesed, ahavat mitzvot. You can sit down, and just see it. And again, you see it at all levels. Even at the lowest level of being a Jew, you see that. Even if it's fighting for causes that you say, Ribono shel olam, what are you fighting for? A Jew will do this. Even in that, there's something fundamentally Jewish. Sometimes we say, kill me if I understand that, but I don't know, Jews for Palestinians. Deep down inside, yeah, they're kind of crazy. But deep down inside, it comes because only a Jew would be able to do so. Not because of a bad thing, but on the opposite, because there's something very good about the Jews. And the world does not understand, and the world hates us for it. So, if you understand and you actually get it inside of you, that our forefathers really gave this to all of us, this, deep inside of us, this love for Torah and mitzvot, and nobody will take anything from you, and nobody actually prevents you from doing the mitzvot, you will do it to yourself. And in other words, you willingly are making a decision not to tap into that. And the mitzvot are sitting here in front of you, and you choose not to take it, not to pick it. Look, how many Sfarim are here? How many people that come and they live in a neighborhood, they don't even come to learn. How much money would a guy spend with his wife to go to Dubai, but yet will not give half of it for tzedakah? I mean, where are you going with this? You think they're going to tell you, you're going to come to Shamayim, they're going to tell you, Señor, por favor, what's the password? I don't know, Abu Ali. Okay. You think they're going to ask you, did you go to Dubai? Yes. Okay, come in. No. Where are you going with this life? Avraham Avinu trying to help us here, not to get lost. So, but if for example, somebody comes to you and says to you, listen, you're not allowed to daven Hanetzach Hama. Now you're going to get up Dafka Hanetzach Hama. Right? If a person will tell you, listen, why are you getting up so late? Why don't you daven on time? He said, Tishma, I'm not, man, it's not so late, a few minutes. We always have Shitat Hagra to rely on. It's going to find some lenience. In other words, your attitude is missing. In the action of Avraham Avinu, we have what we call Midat HaZrizut. And he says, Vayeira, Vayiratz Likotam, Vayimaher Avraham, and so on and so forth, as we said beforehand. According to the Maharam Alshech, this expression, Vayimaher La'asot Oto, that expression refers to Avraham Avinu and not to the Na'ar, not to Ishmael. Avraham Avinu, Vayimaher La'asot Oto. Why? Because we see his words to Sarah. But the words to Sarah, not only he says to her, do it quickly. He says something that it's very important in addition to Midat HaZrizut. Zrizut means being nimble, being quick. It says, for sure you have to prepare yourself to do the mitzvah. But Avraham Avinu teaches us, or taught us, that you have to prepare yourself into the way in which the mitzvah is going to be done or is going to be executed. The mekubalim instead of us l'shem yichud. In other words, it's something else before I do the mitzvah. You need to prepare yourself before you do the mitzvah. I mean, if I would tell you that you go to a dojo, you know, you don't come in and says, okay, I'm here, and then, come in, you have to bow, you have to do this, you have to do that. You say, well, that's noble. But yet you come to shul, you're over there, you're going out like this. So Chachamim says, let's prepare. The way in which you are about to do this mitzvah, not only I'm going to do the mitzvah, how am I going to do the mitzvah? That's what Avraham Avinu is teaching us. It says, the mitzvah we need to do bezrizut, so therefore we have to be careful. But before Sarah even started to do what she's going to do, what the mitzvah itself, Avraham Avinu says, as the Aisha says, "Tasim neged panea zrizut v'meirut." Make it your business to do the mitzvah that I'm going to tell you now quickly. And Avraham Avinu said to her, "No, lushi b'mehera." But right, he didn't say that. But he said to her, "Mahari." In other words, prepare to do this quickly. He didn't say, "Lushi, do me a favor, make some matzot or something like this and make." No. Mahari, make it quick. Lushi, I feel good, right? To do it, and what does he say to her? It says to her, Shalosh seim kemach solet lushi v'asiyugot. Take the shalosh seim, the amount of flour, then you should knead it. But first, you have to do it first. But the way that Avraham Avinu says it would make you wonder. And why is that? Because as we said before, he's giving her a recipe how to make the bread. What, Sarah doesn't know that you need to knead the bread? Why, you need to tell me knead the bread? I know that. I'm making bread. So just tell me making bread. Why you tell me to knead the bread? But the Alshech says that this is the principle, the second principle in Kiyum mitzvot, on doing the mitzvot, and he says the following. Ve'ala shenit amar lushi, etc. He says to her to do so, besum lev el omro lushi. He said, deliberately pay attention to the word knead the dough. Ki ha'im lelamda seder asiyat apat ba? Is he coming to teach her how to do bread? Ki mi lo yada sha'al yedei lisha ya'aseu God, says the Alshech. Who doesn't know that in order to make the bread, you need to make dough, you need to knead the dough. So it looks that it's not out of place. אך כיוון אל תאמרי הן השפחתי הגר וחברותיה הן יעזרוני ותהיה אחת לשה ואחת מקטפת ולחזר עוגות. He says, Sarah was a big shot. She had servants. She had maid. He said, okay, Hagar will sift Hagar, you sift the thing, like you have a sous chef, you know. You cut the vegetable, you're going to work on the flames, you're going to do this, and I'm going to come in and just put the little spritz on top, and I'm the chef. He says, no. Don't tell your servants to do it. You do it. You need to do the mitzvah. You need to do the mitzvah. That's why it says, Al ken amar la ochazi b'mitzvah al yedei atzmech. You yourself should do this mitzvah. Don't hand it over to somebody else. Do me a favor. Could you be motzi me with this? Have me in mind. Why have me in mind? Like you don't have a mouth? You don't have a leg? Or two? Listen, he learned from me. Why can't you learn? It's very good to support people who learn, I'm not saying. But to learn for you? What's wrong with you? What, are you an imbecile? What's wrong with you? When it comes to doing, and that even more so comes to educating your kids. You know how much money I paid to Yeshiva, and look what my kid turned up to be. Well, where were you been, honey? We understand you need to go to work. Fine. We understand you need to do this, you need to do that. I understand. But don't hand over the education of your kids to somebody else because you paid them money. You, mitzvat chinuch hi alecha, is on you to educate your kids. You are the primary educator. So therefore, if you kids and adults also we all have choices. And again, as I said to you before, what they would do, that's their choice. But what you do is something else. You need to do the best that you can with the tools that you have, to the best of your ability to do the task. Which, anyway, I mean, if I'm going to tell you that if you're a boss and you have workers, that's what you expect your workers to do. I don't understand people that were saying, why aren't you in work? It's okay, I asked this guy to cover up for me, it's okay. But he's also going to get paid for you. If I was your boss, I would have fired you. I'm paying you, I want you to do the job. I don't want him to do the job, because if he's doing your job, he's not doing his job. And if he can do his job and your job, well, what do I need you? I'm going to have him, how do you call it, cutbacks, whatever. So don't hand over your mitzvot, especially your most important mitzvot, or to that matter any mitzvah, to somebody else to do it. If you don't know, so can you please teach me how to do it? Teach me, and I'll do it. I want to do it myself. I've never seen yet a guy, I mean, of course, halachically is impossible, but a guy that would say to a guy, listen, my wife went to the mikvah today, do you mind to do the mitzvah for me? I'm just too busy now, I have to do something. Nobody would do that, right? Okay? So all of a sudden, all the light bulbs went on. But how about everything else? So Avraham adds the word lushi, not to teach Sarah, as we said, to prepare, how to prepare, but that she herself to do so. But the pe'ula, the action of lisha, of kneading the dough, is actually not the ikar of the words of Avraham, but rather that who is doing it. If we said lushi, it means you would do it. The emphasis is on you, not on make the dough. But Avraham basically was teaching her and teaching us through that a tremendous lesson. So the Mefarshim asks, why did going back to this, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to take the chama min artika, not to be matriach the tzaddik, and so on and so forth? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu make it like a regular day, like a nice fall day, 70 degrees, light breeze from the west, low humidity at 35 to 40%? Let's just make it a perfect day, right? And he made it so hot just so nobody will come to Avraham Avinu. But this is, by the way, one of the tests that Avraham Avinu had. The whole test of Avraham Avinu, even though he was exempt, because he was mitztaer, he was in pain, and we say mitztaer, patur min mitzvah. So if he's patur min mitzvah, it's the whole nisayon is, would he really want it? And that's the similarity in the test between the nations of the world that got the sukkah and the sun at its full capacity, and Avraham Avinu and his test and his capacity. It's your attitude behind it. Listen, I'm exempt. I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it. I'm exempt. I'll tell you something. When my father was niftar, I had, he wasn't buried. So we were busy with getting him, because it happened like this. I mean, really, I had a very short, I basically landed in Israel, and from there went to the funeral home. To the cemetery. There's no funeral home. I couldn't put filling on. I just couldn't take myself without tefillin. I just said, like, so of course, after the burial, when I come home, I went into the room, I put the tefillin, I made, I davened quickly, and then I did it. I just couldn't do it without tefillin on. How can you not go a day without tefillin? How can you eat something in your mouth without a bracha? I feel like I'm stealing. So the attitude of Avraham Avinu was, yes, Avraham Avinu, ata mitztaer, patur, you're patur. But the whole nisayon was how much he would go and look for the mitzvot with a tremendous dedication and what we call mesirut nefesh. And this is the test of Avraham Avinu. So, and that's why he had to send the malachim to come. That's what he actually going to give up. Or you're going to say, no, what do you mean? I don't feel good. I don't feel good. But the guest, the mitzvah, I need to do the mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. I have to do it. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam shekol yisrael. So what's so great about achnasat orchim that it's greater than actually speaking to God? The benefit that a person gets from achnasat orchim is so great that, imagine you're talking to God and you get exempt from that. Go take care of your guests, is because the benefit that a person has is tremendous. Kabbalat pnei Shechina, the benefit that a person has from receiving the Shechina is in this olam, in this world. Kabbalat orchim ba'olam hazeh and ba'olam haba, both in this world and in that world. And that's what the Mesilat Yesharim says, that the Kedusha, chetzia avodah vechetzia sachar. Reaching the level of holiness, or the level of holiness, it constitutes from two parts. One is the work that you have to do, and the other one is the reward in which you get. And that he says in Resh Perek Chavav. And the level of Kedusha, which is one Kedusha before Ruach HaKodesh, that he says Kedusha Mavia Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh is already the reward, is already the Sachar. But Kedusha Mevia Leze. Even though that it's in this word only, is the fact that you are making your life and this and the next life and this world better for everybody else. When you are busy with tikkun olam, the reward is great. And the person can only be osek b'tikkun olam when he's osek b'kedusha. You can't do tikkun olam when you are dealing with gezel or with pritzut or with anything like this. Only through holiness you could bring tikkun olam to this world. And why is that? Because we said, Ma'u nikra rachum, af ata rachum. In other words, when you are entering the parameter of holiness, as the Rambam brings over there in Alachot Deot, Perek Aleph, Yud Aleph, it says this world was created for us to do avodah, to do work, not for rewarding, not to getting a sachar. That's why Chachamim were not so great about getting unexpected sums of money without doing anything for it, because they said, oh my goodness, I'm getting this money now, getting this reward now, that's taken away from Olam Haba. This world is to work. Next world is for the Sachar. So, when you work in Hashem, at the end you're going to have Ruach HaKodesh. At the end you're going to have Kabbalat Pnei Shechina. So it says, Tzadikim Yoshvim V'ataotehem Berosham V'ne'enim B'ziv HaShechina. That's in Olam Haba, that's in Brachot, in Daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. This is not now, that's for the world to come. But now I need to work. Lehavi Li'imot HaMashiach. Lehavi, to bring about. And how you bring it up, you need to work on it. And we are, but we're in this world. And that's why Gdolah Achnasat Orchim, that's why Avraham Avinu allowed himself to leave the Shekhinah and do Achnasat Orchim. He felt as HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving him, and how did he do it? Because he felt that he did the Milah right now, he did Brit Milah. As the reward for the fact that he did Brit Milah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him the mitzvah of Achnasat Orchim. And the Sachar the reward is for the Avodah that he did. That Hashem came to visit him and to see him, to show him all these words while he's alive. I already got it, so now I have the mitzvah to do. So Avraham Avinu says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as long as I'm alive, I still have time. And I would rather do mitzvot for you, to fix this world for you, and then do the Achnasat Orchim. Because it's all about Hashem, it's not about you. So what happens now? In every mitzvah, when you do, right, you're doing the mitzvah, atarachum, hu rachum of atarachum. In every mitzvah that you do, there is an aspect that you're revealing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that you adapt for yourself. Achnasat Orchim, a person comes, he has nowhere to eat, he has nowhere to sleep. You have mercy on him. You want to do kindness, you bring him to your home, you give him something to eat, you give him something to drink, you give him shelter from the cold. You are adapting the midot, the qualities of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to yourself through the mitzvot. You cannot do it without the mitzvot. The mitzvot are the ultimate vehicle for you, if you see so, to get closer to Hashem, and that's what Mesilat Yesharim writes as well. Every mitzvah that a person does bechesed is another block. Why? Because we say, Olam chesed yibaneh. The world of kindness has to be built. And it has to be built by hard work. It has to be built by education, not by passing legislations. Because if you make a law, you're making another reason for people to violate the law. You don't need laws if you educate the people appropriately. And the reason why the world outside looks the way it looks, because we forgot about one thing, we forgot about education. We forgot the courtesy between a man and his fellow human being. I need a law for you to tell me what to say. I need a law for you to tell me what to do. I need a law to do this. That means that something is wrong with us as a society, and the only way to address it, actually two ways to it starts with you, and it starts with the education of your kids. You don't understand what I'm saying? Please, instead of going to Dubai, instead of going to Cancun or Marrakesh or whatever it is that you go, spend a week in Mea Shearim. Spend a week in Bnei Brak. You've been more than a week in Mea Shearim. How was the experience there in terms of that? Huh?
It was amazing.
Amazing? Amazing. Why was it amazing?
Wherever you went, you just felt like you had Torah around you, people cared, people were religious, people weren't there to play games.
Especially when you go to the Kugel store in the corner over there. You know, when you go down next to your old yeshiva, there was the Kugel store, whatever it is, the bakery.
Yeah.
There's the pizza there, then the bakery. Oh, it's amazing. There's Gan Eden over there. And you know what? Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, secular Jews, everybody is there. You feel terrific. You feel great. You know how much chesed are in the poorest Jewish communities? I'll tell you for sure. I guarantee you. There is more chesed in the poor Jewish communities than in the wealthy Jewish communities. I guarantee you that.
More happiness.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And they're healthier, and they're better, and they're kind to each other, and so on and so forth. And you're not going to be left alone. In the wealthy Jewish communities, it's no different than anybody else. It's like a fortress. You can rot into your house, nobody would know. The gardeners will still come, will cut you. Meanwhile, you over there. You know, you live in those communities, you don't come 2 days to shul. Like, what's the matter? Where is he? Is he okay? Is he sick? Send your wife. Excuse me, anybody, everything is okay. So, when we said, Olam Chesed Yibaneh, through the mitzvot, we're building our connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're building our connection and our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, especially when it's hard for you, especially when it's not comfortable for you, especially when things are not going your way, like your body is aching, it's hot, you just had a circumcision. This is, and you don't stop from seeking to do the mitzvot, you don't stop from seeking to learn Torah, you don't stop from seeking to build olam chesed. By doing so, you're actually building also the dvekut. You attach yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're erasing the distance and you become closer. You become closer, you become holier. Rabotai, remember this lesson from Abraham Avinu. When things don't go well for you, when it's hard for you, look to do more mitzvot and more chesed and more kindness. And b'zchut zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help us to finish this work of building Olam Chesed. Shabbat Shalom.